In today's real estate market, where multiple offers and bidding wars have pretty much become the norm and have dominated the scene for almost all of 2021, the idea of appraisal waivers has really been brought to the forefront. And many of the buyers we have spoken to over the past several months may have heard the term, but don't honestly understand what it actually means. So, in the video today, I want to break that down for you and help explain what an appraisal waiver is, on why you need to know exactly how they work if you're planning on buying a home in 2022. Hi, this is Andrew with the Andrew Smith team at eXp Realty. And appraisal waivers have become a standard normal part of the real estate market in almost all areas of the country. They're used continually, especially at times when there's multiple offers and there's bidding wars. But what exactly is an appraisal waiver, and how does it impact you if you're in the market to buy a home? Well, it's really important that you understand what an appraisal waiver is so that you don't get caught out or in a situation that you find that you're not able to do, and you could end up losing earnest money or losing part of a deposit because you didn't fully understand what you were being asked to sign and or submitted to the seller. And my hope is that the agent that you're working with completely educates you on this and make sure that you're very, very clear on what the appraisal waiver is. But that's not always the case, unfortunately. Right. So, what exactly is an appraisal waiver and why are they used? So, in a real estate transaction, we're going to assume for this example that there is a house listed for sale for $500,000. We know that it's a competitive market, and we know that this house is going to receive multiple offers. And chances are the price is going to get bid by other buyers well above the $500,000 list price. So, in a normal market, when you don't see that happening, if the contract price on a property was 500,000 and you are utilizing conventional financing and putting 20% down, your down payment would be 20% of the purchase price, so 100,000. The bank would loan 80% of the purchase price, 400,000, and together that makes the $500,000 purchase price. But as you know, for most of 2021, paying the list price isn't good enough. It's not going to get you that house. You're not going to be the successful bidder, as so many buyers out there are competing for so few properties. The prices are often getting pushed up, sometimes well above what that list price is. This has created a difficult environment for appraisers. Again, an appraiser is someone that comes out to the property. They're hired on behalf of the mortgage lender to provide an independent assessment of value. When the bank is issuing your loan, the mortgage company is preparing your loan, they're going to loan you a percentage of appraised value. They don't necessarily care what the contract price is for the loan. They care what the appraised value is. So again, let's go back to our $500,000 example for just a minute. So let's say there's a home listed for 500,000 and you absolutely love it. You're all in, right? So you start coming up with what your offer is going to be, and you decide to submit an offer for 550,000. So you've willingly bid $50,000 over the list price of the house. Everything goes through, escrow is opened, you're under contract, and then all of a sudden it's time for the appraisal. Well, right now, in order for an appraiser to appraise a property, they need closed sales. And the price of homes have been going up so quickly, there aren't necessarily always enough closed sales for the appraiser to justify a price of 550. Okay, so let's say in this example, The appraisal comes in at 525,000. Right? So what does that mean for you as the buyer? Well, what it means is the bank, regardless of the fact that you've written an offer for 550, the bank are going to use the appraised value of 525. So if you're using conventional financing with 20% down, the bank's financing, they're going to loan you 80% of 525,000. Well, 80% of 525,000 is 425. I'm sorry, is 420,000. Okay, but your purchase price is 550. So that means you need to make up the difference. So in this case, you're going to need 130,000 as your additional down payment. Remember, if the house was listed for 500 and you went under contract at 500, 20% would be 100,000. But in this particular case, you need to cover the difference, right? So that's what an appraisal waiver is. When you sign the appraisal waiver, you're basically telling the seller that regardless of where the appraisal comes in, you're guaranteeing the contract price of 550,000, meaning you're going to make up the difference out of pocket. Where this can cause a problem is if you didn't know that's what the appraisal waiver means, then you might not have enough money to cover all of this. You actually have no idea where that appraisal is going to come in. Hopefully, your agent can offer you guidance, can run the comps for the neighborhood, and give you a suggested value that the house is likely to appraise for. What we're seeing overall is the appraisal quite often comes in somewhere between the list price and the contract price. How close varies from area to area, varies from neighborhood to neighborhood. But now all of a sudden, if you were only planning on putting 100,000 down, now you need to make your down payment 130,000. So that extra 30,000 is coming out of pocket. So your loan is going to be 420, but you need to come out of pocket that additional 30 to make up the difference. Okay, so that can obviously have an impact. It can also impact your overall loan. If you don't have enough money in reserves, right? You don't have enough other money in savings, or you were planning on buying a washer, a dryer, a refrigerator, new furniture, you may find that that cuts into that money substantially, or you may not have enough money available overall. So an appraisal waiver, every single state has a version of it that I'm aware of. So it's important that when you're when you're out looking at homes, it's not only a matter of what the list price of the home is, it's also understanding that in a day and age when many, many homes are selling for more than list price, how that difference is covered and making sure that you have enough cash so that you don't get caught short in the end. So hopefully that helps. As we move into 2022 right now, I don't know that we're going to see much of a difference. I do believe that home prices will not increase as rapidly as they did in 2021. But right now, as long as we have high buyer demand coupled with a limited supply, it means there's going to be a lot of competition for every single home that gets listed. If you have any other questions about this or any other real estate related items that you'd like to talk about, please feel free to reach out. I'm always happy to talk to you and share what information I have with you. You can reach me at 888-447-9650.